better.
Presenting Make Me Scream from WA Production. In a world with so many options for distortion and saturation, you need a plugin that can do both subtle musical tube saturation and all-out screaming distortion. That's where Make Me Scream comes in. With 4 different distortion types, 4 alternate timbre modes, filters, and an envelope follower, this plugin can dirty up your audio in many different ways, from adding crunch at the low end to pushing the harmonic frequencies way beyond their natural limits. Make Me Scream is an ocean of distortion ideas waiting for you to dive in. Before I explain how it works, let's hear a few examples of drier sounds and then increasingly processed. Make sure to grab some headphones or listen through decent monitors. You can dial in more conservative settings for characterful saturation, particularly useful at the mixing stage. Push the parameters harder to explore more dramatic distortion, perfect for all sorts of audio parts. This is the main interface with easy to follow buttons and dials. Make Me Scream actually processes audio in 2 stages. Firstly with tube saturation on the incoming signal, controlled by this slider. And then more pronounced distortion using these 4 type and 4 mode buttons. Distortion types A through D will each display a different kind of graphic here, to give you a quick eyeball of what's happening to the signal. This is analog tube saturation, soft clipping saturation, regular distortion, and folded sinus distortion. The 4 mode buttons are different styles of processing, with each affecting the signal frequencies in their own way. Fuzz is a balanced mode. Wall creates a more muted tone that concentrates on bass. Cliff emphasises the mid-range frequencies. and Make Me Scream mode brings out the higher frequencies. You really start to hear the difference in the distortion types and modes when you push up the boost dial. This increases the gain on the incoming signal. So far we've only listened to the 100% processed wet signal, but you can use the dry-wet ratio knob to dial it down. Whilst you experiment, you should always keep your eye on the waveform display here. If the waveform starts to peak over the purple lines, then you're hitting the gain ceiling and introducing unwanted additional distortion. These lines make it easy to tell the difference between the characterful distortion of Make Me Scream and the digital peaking of the plugin being driven beyond its limit, so back off the boost or turn down the output. The emphasis, cutoff, and envelope follow dials are how you introduce musicality into your distortion. Choose an EQ filter type here, either low pass, band pass, or high pass, and use the cutoff dial to set the default frequency limit of the distortion processing. This is really useful when you just want to apply distortion to a specific frequency range. You can use the emphasis dial to give the cutoff frequency a bump, a bit like resonance in a normal EQ. The envelope follower dial is used to sync the filter cutoff to the incoming audio, detecting transients and creating a rhythmic and musical auto-wah feel. One last thing I'll mention, the amount of internal oversampling can be set from 1 to 16 times, allowing users with enough CPU power to limit the unwanted non-harmonic artifacts in the processed audio. Don't forget there's also a wide range of presets accessed just here, suitable for all different types of audio. So that's Make Me Scream in a nutshell. I've only just scratched the surface, as setting up different parameters can conjure everything from soft harmonics to balls to the wall strangulating screaming. Try it yourself on drums, synth and bass. For more info, head to the WA Production site or Plugin Boutique.